Brother and lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. Now, we're going to be talking about Thomas Partey. According to the Arsenal website, the player is among the midfielders and all the Arsenal squad members that have traveled to the US, contrary to the first original reports that came out as per Ben Jacobs and a couple of other sources saying that Thomas Partey was dropped. However, the player does not appear anywhere in pictures or in videos on that Arsenal trip to the USA. What is happening? What exactly is this information supposed to mean? We'll talk about that. Lucas Paqueta as well. We have the latest around the player and the transfer. It looks like Arsenal now are officially confident they can get the deal done. However, Newcastle and Roma are also keeping very open eyes on the player. I'll give you much around Lucas Paqueta and what is happening. Conor Mabos also saying that Arsenal have 5 players on their list in that central midfield position. We're going to look at each of them. Of course, some of them we've already had a discussion about them. Some names like Guido Rodriguez and also names in names like Ruben Neves have also not completely gone away. We'll discuss Lucas Torreira's future as his agent comes out and confirms that the player has an agreement with Valencia now, but the problem is we do not have an agreement with Arsenal. Can we find an agreement between us and of course and Valencia so that the deal can get done? All that is going to be discussed in this video. Hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the podcast. Let's get this video to 800 likes. Now, I want you to honestly go down in the comment section and tell me what you think about the Thomas Partey situation. It is puzzling. It is absolutely very, very puzzling. So, a couple of days ago, I came out here and I told you that Thomas Partey was in Germany, according to Chris Whitley. The same journalist, Chris Whitley, came out and said Thomas Partey is not in Germany. Thomas Partey is at London Colney. Now, today in the morning, Ben Jacobs and a couple of other outlets also had leaked information that Thomas Partey was staying at the London Colney and will be training, in London, not traveling with the rest of the Arsenal squad. Arsenal nullified that information this evening and confirmed that Thomas Partey will be part of the midfielders and also part of the general squad traveling for the US tour in the USA. Now, this evening, players set off for the US for the US tour. They set off for the US, and we have seen videos and we have seen pictures of many players on that pitch. On that plane, many players boarding the plane. Thomas Partey does not appear anywhere. That is the question, lads, right? Yes, we love Thomas Partey, and I love Thomas Partey, but a senior player, an important player, a key member of the squad, a star. In terms of PR, Arsenal used Thomas Partey as one of our main stars, as one of our team stars. So when Thomas Partey is traveling to America, when we are traveling to Germany, Thomas Partey and his pictures must be everywhere, because listen, the US tour, the German tours, these tours are for making money. Yes, they are also part of our preparations and everything, but we understand the key motive here is making money, and that's why Man United are absolutely furious with Cristiano Ronaldo. They're telling him you should be part of this, right? I mean, you're part of the brand. These players are not only Arsenal players, but they're also brands, part of the brand, part of the Arsenal brand, making lots and lots of money. So Thomas Partey flying to the US, boarding the plane and flying to the US and not appearing anywhere in those pictures is absolute. I mean, you've got to be skeptical. I'm very, very skeptical. I want to be flying. I want to be jumping around and saying Thomas Partey is okay. Thomas Partey is cleared of any rumors, but I'm not doing that at the moment, because for me, you cannot convince me enough that the Arsenal announced Thomas Partey's flying, and Lukonga, Nuno Tavares, and whoever kind of players, below his class and below his importance in terms of, branding, are appearing in videos, are appearing in pictures, and Thomas Partey is nowhere to be seen. I'm not buying into that. I'm 100% not buying into that. Yes, he might have traveled, but there is something wrong with Thomas Partey. Now we know there is something wrong. I'm not trying to incriminate him here, lads, but I'm saying there is something not right. He must be appearing in pictures. Gabriel Jesus, Thomas Partey, they are branding fans. If he was coming to your country, if Arsenal were coming into your country, which players do you really want to see? Do you really want to see Nuno Tavares? Do you want to see Albert Sambele-Konga? Do you want to see Matana? You want to see Thomas Partey? You want to see Gabriel Jesus? You want to see Martin Odegaard? You want to see those players whose branding is quite heavy. And Arsenal know that. As a brand that makes a lot of money, we know that. Thomas Partey is an Arsenal star. So the moment he disappears, the moment he goes black, there must be explanations. Which players haven't we seen in the past 48 hours? In those Arsenal pictures, which players haven't we seen? We've seen Ban Leno traveling. We've seen Florian Balogun, because and this is where it becomes notorious. Thomas Partey was announced alongside Florian Balogun and Ban Leno as players that will not travel. We have seen pictures and videos of Ban Leno boarding the plane. We've also seen Florian Balogun with my own eyes boarding that plane. Where is Thomas Partey? I think Arsenal have got it wrong, absolutely wrong. Instead of doing that, don't put it out at all. Just stay quiet. Because for me, that would be the better advice I would give them. Instead of putting it there very, very unconvincing like that, just keep quiet. Right? But anyway, we're gonna wait. I'm now waiting for the training pictures. If it doesn't appear in the training pictures and also doesn't appear, in the games against Orlando City and Everton, there is nothing you're telling me. There is nothing Arsenal are telling me. But also additional information from The Athletic shows that the Premier League club whose player was arrested and bailed out has given a very, very clear message that they will not suspend their player. Interesting. But I'll leave it at that for now. Now, let's get into the transfer rumors and the transfer stories. And let's start off with Lucas Paqueta. Ben Jacobs, again, the kind of same guy that gave us the wrong information around Thomas Partey. But I trust him 100%. Of course, as a journalist, at times you're going to get it wrong. And at times you will get it right, depending on your sources. So, according to Ben Jacobs, he's spoken with a couple of insiders on the Lucas Paqueta deal. And he is still selling the same idea that Arsenal are talking 100% right now with Lucas Paqueta. They're first trying to make sure that the player is 100% sold. However, Jean-Michel Aulas is not going to be asking for a very, very high price. Actually, the interest of the player have told him, we want to leave. We want you to allow us leave the club and do not ask for a lot of money. You should be asking for a fair price, because they believe they were also farewell signing for Lyon from AC Milan when the player took a pay cut. So it could be kind of a tit for tat. Of course, it's never going to be easy to negotiate with Lyon. But at the moment, Arsenal trying to convince Lucas Paqueta. Number one, Jean-Michel Aulas is going to be accepting a reduced fee. Probably not 30 million, not 40 million. It's going to be above 45 million pounds. But he's not going to be asking for the crazy 80 million euros. He's not going to be asking for that. Now, there are also reports that Yuri Tielemans sold his house in a bid that is going to be moving to London. However, I cannot verify that one. I cannot really verify that story that Yuri Tielemans sold his house. If I get additional information around that, then I'll tell you more. But at the moment, rumors are that Yuri Tielemans has put his house up for sale. But these are stories that really happen always when a story when a transfer hits the dead end, at times these kind of stories come out to give it some kind of life. But Paqueta, Tielemans, all those players being monitored by Arsenal right now. Now, according to Conor Marbos, Arsenal are looking at 5 players in that central midfield area. Lucas Paqueta now one of the favorites. Tielemans the priority. Ruben Neves as well. Guido Rodriguez as well, and Serge Milinkovic-Savic. Now, it is believed that Arsenal are still looking at Tielemans, but assessing other options. We want Lucas Paqueta as well, but we are not looking at him alone. We are also assessing other options. But, Guido Rodriguez is a player we were interested in right from the start. I think even last summer, also in January, Arsenal talked to Real Betis about Guido Rodriguez. We're not the only club interested in Guido, but 28 years of age now. It would be very good as a central midfielder. For me, he would be very good as a player playing in that pivot, in that single pivot, by the way, rather than a player playing in that central midfield role. I'd love him to play as a single pivot, because his passing is 100% clever. He's very, very open and free to receiving the ball in tight spaces, also in wide spaces. He's very, very good at that. So Guido Rodriguez. Ruben Neves is another one, very, very highly priced at the moment, but it's another one that I would really consider. Given the fact that Arsenal are looking for someone who can distribute the ball very, very strongly, a strong tackler, a strong interceptor in that midfield, then Ruben Neves could be another advantage. But I think with Ruben Neves, I want him as a successor to Thomas Partey. I do not want him as a partner to Thomas Partey. I want him as a successor to Thomas Partey. Because when I place both of them in that midfield, I feel I'm doing that at the expense of some fluidity and also some pace. I think both of them lack the pace. They're known. I think he's not a player who's as technically gifted as Lucas Paqueta or Yuri Tielemans, and he's not one that is going to affect our attacking third very well. Serge Milinkovic-Savic, one to watch, honestly, as an attacking midfielder. Lucas Paqueta, one to watch. Yuri Tielemans, one to watch as well. Now, the other story is around Lucas Torreira. The agent of Lucas Torreira has said they have a full agreement with Valencia to sign the player. Now, the new manager at Valencia is Gianluca. Is it called Gianluca? No, it's not called Gianluca. It's Gattuso. What's the other name? Gennaro, right? Gennaro Gattuso. So I was trying to remind him, to remind myself of that name, because he was one of the players that I really loved to watch at AC Milan back in the day. But so Gattuso is the new manager there at Valencia, and he wants to make Lucas Torreira first signing of the Gennaro Gattuso era. They have an agreement with the agent of the player. So there is an agreement between Torreira's representatives and Valencia. However, at the moment, they do not have an agreement with Arsenal. Now, it is being rumored that Mikel Arteta has told Lucas Torreira he wants to watch him over pre-season, and then he will see what to do later with him. In my opinion, it's all about selling him. There is nothing to consider anymore there. But anyway, that's the update this evening.